filter right now. I want to explain something. I was thinking of something earlier, and I didn't know if people paid attention to it as much as I do, and understand the value of why it's so important. And I wanted to talk about science. I was trying to think of how could I say this where it wouldn't have an impact, an effect on you psychologically at the moment that I'm saying it, because that's the point of the video. What I wanted to say was, in science, you can learn things from an element, and you can learn. I'm not really. I don't know how to say this. I think that everyone can have an understanding of science. It's just there's different ways of understanding how that things work. And I think that if you get yourself to a point to where you understand perspective of how the things work, it takes you dimensionally to a place to where that you can make modifications to take advantage of either a situation or the effect of a situation. And the thing that I was thinking about was, like, there was the politics, and why I wanted to say that was because I know that a lot of people are, they get upset about politics, and they get frustrated about politics, because politics have an effect on you, and whether you like it or not, that politics will have an effect on you. And you have to understand that you also have an effect on politics, and people don't really understand how that this works. And what I wanted to explain is that it's a ripple effect, and you take you take a rock or a pebble, whatever you want. You can take a rock, big rock, small rock, and you take a body of water, and this body of water is determined to you what you want the outcome to be. But you can take a small puddle or whatever, or bigger, and throw the pebble in, and there's a ripple effect, and the ripple effect is there because that it's affected by the rock. By you throwing the rock, the little pebble, it has a ripple effect. You throw a bigger rock, bigger effect. You throw a handful of rocks, you're getting a big wake of all kinds of different effects. But that, no matter what you do, is that point of contact of using that effect. You can, wind can blow on water. You can blow on, and you have an effect on it. It's a ripple effect. And I figured this out every time. Well, everything has an effect on everything, and it's like the relativity. It's like the opposite and equal. And I found out that everything has an effect of every 10 years. Every 10 years, there's a situation. Okay, so you have somebody that's 10 years old, and you're going like, well, this person's not that brilliant. They're 10. They apparently don't know anything, or they may know some. It depends. There might be some really well-educated 10-year-olds. But then another 10 years, they're 20 years old. See what I mean? It's an effect. So 10 years old, can't make any decisions. 20 years old, and they can get married. They can do whatever they want to do. So they can move out. And according to the law, don't 21, an 18-year-old can go to war and die for the country and the people, the situation, and has the decision of understanding that, taking that life and that power at 18, but they can't drink a beer. At 18, they can't drink a beer. Is that because politics or because of stupidity? Can drink until you're 21. It's the rules. It's the law. Well, you see what I'm saying? So you're 20, 10, 20, and then the state goes to 21. 21 because we know best. You can be married. You can bring a child into the world and be a parent at 15. But, legally and everything, your equipment down there is working. But you're not an adult until 18. 10, 20. See what I mean? 10, 20, 21, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. 100, okay? 120. So, it's a ripple effect. And basically that people don't have an ability to remember effectiveness of why things were the way that they were over 100 years ago, or why that we set up the rules of negotiation of why is life worth living, why is life worth protecting, why do women have the right to vote. And now it seems like these politicians are, instead of exploring the science and understanding and being with integrity or anything, they're just like going like, well, you can't say things in a certain way because people can't, they offended. Like, well, these people that are offended so easily are weak and dim-witted. Please, let's have a death match. You and I, you offended pieces of shit. Let's battle to the death and in a cage, and let's make it a sport, because I would love to take you out because of your weakness. And I would, even though I've been very horribly injured in a car accident. I got a big scar on my neck where I got hit by a car riding a bike. I have all kinds of injuries, but I would still, because I'm educated enough to understand that your weak and offensiveness is your downfall. Because you're offended so easy. You're weak. And I know that because I'm intelligent. So that is the case, my friends, of the situation of whether or not you will be able to figure out or understand the ripple effect and how it affects you, or how you're affected, or how you affect other people. This is quite the conversation here, and so I would appreciate feedback and let me know what you're thinking. If you'd like more on this education of the ripple effect, you can tweet me at Elijah18, CHAI, Elijah18 Chai. I would be happy to have a debate or understand your point of view, if it's valid. If it's not valid, you're cancel your meetings, wasting your own time. And repeating things that other people have said does not constitute as a valid argument, or even your in an opinion. If you're having an opinion, a borrowed opinion, that is someone else's opinion, then you're taking yourself to a point of where that you're allowing yourself to be controlled by someone else's viewpoint, because that their viewpoints are not your viewpoints, but their viewpoints are that's a viewpoint. So I don't know. I like people that can think. If you can think on your own, there's nothing wrong with sharing a viewpoint. But if it's degrading to you, or if it causes you problems, it's shameful. because that's the problem, is that people have not gotten themselves to a point to where that they can think past a problem, or get to a point to where that they allow themselves to think on their own for a minute, to think and use your ability to assess the situation and come up with an answer that's suitable, that makes sense. And instead, people want to borrow their opinions and their viewpoints from media and from quick sources, and they're just like, let's just like, well, according to the programming network.
The programming network that I've been listening to, that has programmed me to a point to where I obey everything that it says, because corporate media can't be wrong.
Yeah, it can. It can be very wrong. It can be wrong and misleading and misguiding, and it has a corporate agenda, and it's paid for by the people who shove their commercials in your face and try to make you buy their junk. And people are like, well, the commercials don't no, commercials don't do anything. You're paying for cable, or however you're viewing these networks. You're paying to view it, whether you're paying for your phone and you view it from your phone, or you're paying for the television. If you're paying to view it. In the old days, they used to use commercials too. Pay for the product, and that would buy advertising on the television networks when television network was like, you could plug your TV in and have an antenna, turn it on, and you would get television programming. But then when cable came along, you were paying for cable. You were paying to view what the cable system had. You were paying so that you could have a channel with no commercials, and a little bit of time. They weeded in a commercial at a time. Just you're paid for it, but they forced you to watch the commercial. Now, those companies also gave them a shit ton of money. They gave those networks a lot of money to put their garbage on your television. So they forced you to watch it. I'm sorry, I froze there. I was like, I was looking at my clock on my timer. It says it's 13 minutes. I don't know if it's going to stop. It says 13:41. I'm wondering if it's going to stop. But anyway, so they forced you that they forced you to pay them. I'll make another video if it stops. It says 13:41. I don't know why is there a timer on my phone? I don't understand this. I got to figure some things out. So they forced you to pay for a network. I'm going to make another video because it's flashing at me. Alright, join me on